Hello, good people. It's Rob Lee. I want to take you back in time. I want to talk about something today. As we get further and further, and I've been telling people that in fall, mid-fall, late fall, early winter, into the winter, December, you're going to start to see in this nation some really bad things start to happen in the economy, with the food, with money, with banking, and society is even going to get worse. I want to talk to you about the people that are going to be trying to guide you and to help you during all this. And a lot of these people are going to be on the internet, the media, friends, family. I want to take you back in time to a movement that prefaced the MAGA movement. Now, the word MAGA comes from the word witch, magus. And the Bible tells us that we shall not suffer a witch. And these are people that deceive and they use sorcery and they captivate people's minds. But before there was the MAGA movement, when the people put on the red hats and marched around hollering for Trump, there was the Tea Party movement. Now, all these movements, whether it be Black Lives, Tea Party, MAGA, La Raza, they're all funded by the synagogue of Satan, and they call them movements. Yet, the movements never go any place, but yet they stare the people. You see, they're Judas goats. They stare the cattle. You see, they stir the goats. They move them to go to their slaughter. You see, if you're not following what God gave you, you're following the devil. It's just that simple. In your life, you are either manifesting good or evil. You either manifest the Father and He gave you Jesus Christ, or you manifest the devil. There's no middle ground. There's none. No middle ground, folks. I know that sometimes I speak on certain things often, and that's just the way it's going to be because we speak our message for a reason. Sometimes I'm repetitive and have been in the past month. But we're on point because the Father has moved me to do it. I'm telling you again, you need to get yourselves ready. Spiritually, physically, as much as you can, mentally, emotionally, and you need to have some food put up. If you don't have a weapon, have one. Have one. Stay away from people that are dangerous and crazy and that are not like-minded. We should have no fellowship with those type of people. So as we're living in incredibly trying economic and social times, we are also living in one of the most deceitful times in the history of mankind, if not the most deceitful. Now, I can't go back and tell you all about history. I wasn't there. But I know what the Father talked about the end days, about the deceits. And the lies are becoming more and more outrageous. You see, what would have been laughed at 10 years ago is the new normal, and even regarded as important information and knowledge. Friends, I ask you to take a look at this picture on your screen. Now, this video, when I first did this 3 or 4 days ago, it came up in my feed. It will inevitably end up with millions of views. Now, this is one of the bigger and more popular channels on YouTube. It's a pro-Trump right-wing channel. Now, this channel comes up in my feed because of the algorithms. For whatever reason, it brings them up. This is the host, Clayton Morris. He's popular. I mean, he's big, man. He reaches a lot of people, the right-wing Fox News people, the church people. He says that 7-foot aliens have invaded a town in Peru, and these beings were seen floating in the air. Friends, this is not what bothers me. What bothers me is that so many people are believing it. Not that they're watching, but they believe it. And I use this story as an example of what's coming for those who are not rooted in the truth of our Father through His gift that He gave us in Jesus Christ. Because as we get further and further, and food becomes more scarce, and water, medicine, and everything starts to break down, you're going to have people that are going to be trying to put their faces in your life to tell you, this is what you need to do. This is how it's going to be better, and they're going to want to give you information. The devastation to this nation is profound. The dumbing down and re-educating of America has been happening for over 75 years. But in the past 10 to 12 years, man, it's full blown. The enemy has concentrated on changing the outlook, the ideology, and personality. And what this has done, it causes people to change their perception of reality. Most folks don't know that right now, folks, most folks do not realize what's coming. They think things are going to get better, or they just don't care. It's the summertime. Life is good. People are going to the beach. They're having a good time. Yes, it's a good time. Raise hell, drink beer, have cookouts, go to the beach, man. Do all the things that dumbed down people do. And when you can't see reality, you're unable to question, think, or reason about what's important. The communist end goal is having the masses dependent on them while denying God. This, in effect, makes the communist leaders as gods. And the communist leaders are not the politicians. Those are the pawns. The communist leaders are the bankers. Now, as we draw closer to the end all and all hell breaking loose, what the scriptures call the Great Tribulation, the masses are going to become more and more delusional. And they will seek the help of the government. Fox News, CNN, ABC will become, hey, I got to go get the truth. That's who's going to tell me what's really going on. Corporations, doctors, technology, academia, politicians, and talking heads, people will look to them to save them. Give me information and tell me what's going on. When are things going to get better? What can I do? What can I do? Because, folks, it's going to get bad. Then the reality is the same beings who are shackling these people, okay, are the ones that are behind it all. You see, this is America. You look to your oppressors as your saviors while denying the real savior. The result is chaos and pain. The devil's children are using the Great Reset, which was based on a great lie, to break the people emotionally, spiritually, and financially. Through the media and the internet, they keep the people in a state of suspense, which is by definition, suspense is anxious, anticipation, and expectation. Let me say those three words for you again, and let me explain it to you. Through the media, through your Fox, your CNN, your ABC, your CBS, all this, and even your internet gurus, man, they keep the people in a state of suspense, which is by definition anxious, anticipation, and expectation. You see, the emotions are controlled. You control the masses' minds and the bodies are going to follow because there's no spirit of God guiding them. It's the Judas goat, the theme, man. You have a goat out in front that leads the other sheep to slaughter. You see, the sheep don't want to go to slaughter, but if you put one out in front and say, come on with me, they'll follow him to slaughter. Many Judas goats, we've talked about it. You're seeing the strong delusion all around you, and this will grow far worse and far more dangerous. Far more dangerous and far more deceitful. In these times, your protection, your guide, is your spirit that comes from your Father, and it will lead you away from the lies and the darkness that comes from the lies. You got to walk in the light. You got to walk in the truth. The lie above all lies is the Father and Jesus are not real, irrelevant, or simply just creations of people's minds, and that Jesus is no better than Muhammad or Buddha or Krishna or Kali or Thor or anybody else. People say the Bible's not true, it's corrupt, it's been rewritten, it's all the nonsense. Jesus is ridiculed and mocked nonstop on the internet, yet these same folks here pretty soon they're not going to be able to feed themselves. Shit's going to get bad. It's going to get bad. And some folks believe they can hate Jesus because there's a lot of hate toward Jesus, and yet they believe they can have something with who they call God. This belief stems from the synagogue of Satan. I share with you the words of Jesus. John 15:23. He that hateth me, hateth my Father also. You see, because if you don't have Jesus, you don't have the Father. If you don't have the Father, you don't have Jesus. I close by reading the words of your Father, who is the one who has blinded the masses. It's called the strong delusion. And you should not have fellowship with these people. Why would you? The strong delusion, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 10 through 12. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth that they might be saved. And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. Who sent it? God did. What did he send them? A strong delusion. So they might do what? Believe a lie. 12. That they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. They have rejected the truth, the masses have. They have rejected the Father. They have rejected his word. And most importantly, they rejected his image, his word made flesh, his Emmanuel. They rejected Jesus. They rejected Jesus being butchered at Calvary. They rejected all. Like I said, pretty soon they won't be able to feed themselves. But they will hate now. But they will pay soon. They're already starting to feel it, but they're too naive to even understand what's happening. Your Father is incredibly kind and merciful, loving and generous to those who seek him with a true heart. Your Father is a mighty one. Your Father can do anything he wants, anytime he wants. There's no limitations on what Almighty Father Jehovah can do. Jesus will be the best friend you've ever had. He'll not leave you or forsake you. When every other person in this world leaves you and turns on you, Jesus Christ will stay right with you. And as we get into this, we must keep our eyes on him and let our ears hear the truth. And how do we do that? Not with your flesh, with your spirit. Your Father, your Almighty Father, the one true God, Jehovah, is invisible to the eye. It is only with the Spirit that you can see God. And when you start to see your Father through Spirit, he will start to reveal things to you, the truth. The truth. And he will help you. He will plant you. He will provide for you. He will put you where he wants you to see that it's going to be okay for you. When we love him, pray and believe, your Father will love you and help you. Your Father said he will do it, and your Father has never lied. He can't. All of us have lied, and sometimes in our lives, we've lied a lot. Man, your Father and Jesus Christ do not lie. Every single bit of madness in this world is the means to the end. It is all steps to the finale that is coming. Coming soon. Sooner than what these people even understand. And that's the reality of it, man. That's the truth of it. You should wake up and pray. You should go to bed and pray. And throughout the day, you should pray. You should seek your Father's face. You should seek the love and protection of he and Jesus nonstop. And if you need something, go to him and tell him, I need some help. Because we all do. Nonstop. But your Father's good. And Jesus Christ is good. And we're getting ready to get into it, folks. Things are going to get bad. Bad. May the Father bless each and every one of you in this small group. In the name of the only name. The name that the Father put above his own name. People wonder why you're using the name Jehovah so much lately, Rob. Because it's my Father's name. Why wouldn't I use my Father's name? I've been calling him Father. I love calling him Father. It's personal. It's intimate. But why wouldn't I call him by his name? It's beautiful. But he even put a name above that. And Jesus, when he came to this earth, Jesus said, I kept them in thy name. Jesus used the name Jehovah. Somebody tried to tell me the other day, Jesus never called the Father by his name. You should read the scriptures a little bit more carefully, my friend. He said, I have kept them in thy name. But the name that the Father even put above his own. My Son. The name of my Son. Jesus. May the Father bless all of you. May he bless your pets. May you pray. May the Father bless everybody in this little flock. In the name above all names. And you call out to your Father in Jesus' name. You do it often. In the name of Jesus and no other. May the Father bless each and every one of you. In Jesus' mighty name. We love you, Father.